Everyone, my name is Sean Cotter, and I am the executive director for Wicked Queer, Boston's LGBTQ plus film festival, and I'm here with the director and co-writer and star of Nina Wu, Mitty Z, and also KG Wu. Welcome for joining us in Boston for a conversation about Nina Wu. If you want to maybe go around and introduce yourself.
Yeah, could she go first?
Oh, okay. Thank you, lady first. Hi, I'm Wu Kexi, and I'm the co-writer and the actress of the film Nina Wu. And yeah, that's it. Okay, your turn.
Hello, everyone. I'm Midi Zeb, Midi Zhao. Yeah, I'm the director and co-writer of Nina Wu. Actually, Nina Wu is written originally by Wu Kexi. Yeah, I'm the co-writer. When I got the script, it's like fully done. It's 200 pages script. I remember first time I read it in Berlin. I couldn't sleep. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I have to say that after I first watched Nina Wu, I was left in my dreams as well. So yeah, I mean, you guys made a really sort of really amazing film. Obviously it talks about PTSD and sexual assault and sort of the perils of the cinema system and sort of casting.
Yeah.
How maybe KG, if you could maybe talk about how you sort of came about making the script.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, I finished the script around 2016 about my like own story about an extra who struggles to trying to be an actress. It was like a diary, kind of like writing per day and just trying. So I didn't show it to anybody because I didn't think that it's good enough. It's like a reflection of myself. And but back in 2017, and the Me Too occurred, and then I was so curious, and I was like, so curious about all those women's story. Each day there's something new, right? So like exciting, and I was so curious about what happened in those hotel rooms, each hotel rooms. So I watched every articles in Screen Daily, Hollywood Reporter, and then the documentaries, and and I had a lot of like things going on in my mind, and I started to think about what I've been through, and and I feel like I can totally understand what they were feeling, and how how angry they are, and there's an article in Hollywood Reporter was read about the an intern, a girl works for Harvey Weinstein, and her story is like so. I feel like so angry for her, yeah.
Mm,
And so after that, and it also reminded me of one incident I had when I was an extra, because before I wanted to work in the film industry from theater. I was a theater performer before in the beginning, and then I tried to make it into the film industry, but I didn't know how, so I started to do extras for films. And there's one time I was an extra in an advertisement, and I got bullied so bad by a cinema photographer and a director. And after that, I came home with 2 week PTSD symptoms. But I didn't know it was PTSD until 2017. I watched those Me Too stuff and started to look into a dictionary and then website to see, oh, okay, so what they were suffering is what I was suffering that time, because it's really like how I wrote. My mind was like so messed up. I just wanted to, go back. go back to the set where I got bullied again and again because I tried to figure out what happened. I tried to figure out if it was my fault to make it happen, and then and I felt like so humiliated, and I felt like I had a lot of like nightmares, and the director's voices and then face would just suddenly appear right here while I was boiling my water or cooking.
Right.
I spaced out so many times, and then the next minute I came back, I was like crying, but I didn't know. So I could totally understand why sometimes those victims probably they were like so in a pain for 15 years. A few of them even tried to commit suicide after 20 years.
Hmm.
Normal people would wonder what happened. Isn't just one day, you can just forget it. But somehow this kind of like stuff will never go away. So that's how. So I started to think that I I can write in a script using the formula of the film with the editing and everything, and try to share with the audiences about what kind the feeling of PTSD, and then those uh, women or men's like mentality. So I just rewrite the story for 2 weeks, and yeah, it's done. It's like very intense writing, non-sleep 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you really kind of capture that. I mean, both of you in the creation of the film really kind of capture that sort of like puzzling and like
Yeah.
not puzzling like I mean, yes, I guess in the all the definitions of the word puzzling, but like putting the puzzle pieces together, but also
Yeah.
how your sort of memory is sort of connecting the dots
Yeah.
in many ways as far as like what happened, because our brains kind of shut down when that kind
Mhm.
of severe
Yeah.
trauma really happens. And I thought
Yeah.
that as a survivor, I have PTSD myself. I
Wow.
really kind of like related to the sort of storytelling, and I thought I want to commend you for being really brave on sharing your story. So I think that um, there are not enough folks who have gone through this experience that sort of kind of turn that into sort of making art and also talking about it and kind of pushing the conversation forward, because a lot of times with um, how we treat especially the victims of PTSD is it's a lot of blame.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
I felt that your film really kind of showed the sort of what the sort of the unraveling of that without a lot of blame or without a lot of like finger pointing this and that, and kind of really kind of exposed it for what it was. So I want to commend you for creating a sort of a film that sort of talks about this in such a candid and kind of brave way. So thank you for that. Minnie, like how did you sort of like obviously you guys have had a working relationship before because you worked
Yes.
on other films. Um, what kind of happened to you when you sort of were presented the script? Did you immediately sort of see the film in front of you, or did it take a lot of different sort of like revisions and sort of like kind of tweaking to sort of get it right?
I my first reaction or from my mind just right after finishing reading the script, I felt it is a story about PTSD. Is a story, of course. There's a story, a film, a script reflects the present situation, what is happening now, to is an reaction directly to the Me Too movement, of course. Yes. And for me, more important things is this story for me is about a female artist creative journey.
Mm,
In the film history, actually, we saw lots of film telling a story from male director about the male director creation journey, like Truffaut,
mhm,
Fellini,
mhm.
and Woody Allen, we saw lots of view from male, talking about a story about an artist's creation journey. It's very rare to see a film point of view from female, from an actress, because an actress, the actress is the the artist of the film. Performance for her is the creative journey. So for me, it's more important. And of course, in the script, I saw complex elements. Yeah, a lot of visually elements. The story, the structure looks like thriller, suspense. Yeah, so I love it. It's totally different compared to my previous film. So want to be challenged. Yeah. And I think those kind of visual from female point of view could enrich the cinema world. Yeah. Most of our cinema from the male point of view. Yeah. Almost the same sometimes.
No, I completely
So
agree.
we need different point of view. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that you're completely correct, and there's often a lot of talk about male gaze
Yes.
in cinema, and I'm ready for the female gaze.
Mm.
Quite honestly, no, because I feel like it's a different perspective, and it's a
Yes.
perspective
Yes.
sort of, and especially as I mean, I'm obviously a male, but like I as a queer man, I'm obvious I always feel like I'm the other, and and in the sort of patriarchal culture that we have, women are often perceived as the other as well, and I feel like for me that's a kind of a little bit more of a compelling kind of viewpoint.
Yes.
One of the things I really sort of loved about, I mean, I didn't love it because it was a hard sort of topic to approach, is the press conference after the sort of the film wrapped, and all they talked about was the sex scenes, the nudity, that kind of stuff. And I feel like that those conversations always happen on the red carpet, in interviews, that they would never ask a male actor those questions
Yes.
at all. They would never
Yes.
dare ask that.
Yes.
And I feel like that was really really well done, that you sort of brought that sort of viewpoint to that. Maybe you can talk a little bit more about sort of the sort of that kind of creative choices to kind of push that narrative a little bit further. I mean, maybe Kiji,
Could she first?
Oh well, thanks to my numerous press conference experiences. So thanks to all those journalists. I'm kidding. Well,
well,
yeah, of course,
it's a good step
yeah.
back, though. I mean, honestly, I feel like they need that.
Well, yeah, but well, the writing was pretty like emotional, and from my subconscious, it's really like me talking to myself from my own experiences, and also from all those women's or men's story on the internet that time. Me too, from especially from the US, and then later on from the South Africa, South Korea, and then Taiwan, of course. And it's like I absorbed a lot of information, and then I just absorbed, and then I wrote it out. Um, yeah, and I think I was pretty furious and angry that because yeah, and yeah, I think I felt like it's yeah. What about me? What do you think?
Yeah, why I got the script actually, I'm scaring. I'm scaring to make it, not because of the issue, because it's very complicated. Yeah, it's about PTSD and LGBT, and also it's a suspense. Yeah, film noir, not easy to make it. But my first idea is maybe I should blur the boundaries of the reality and the reality in the story. Yeah. So I during revising the script, I'm talking with Kershi. Maybe we can blur the boundaries. We can mix the reality and the surreality. Yeah, we can make it look like pushes the audience feel like uh, they are the victims, they are the patient. You know, they couldn't separate what is the real, what is the past, what is the present. Yeah, and yeah.
Yeah, I think that you did such a great job of sort of like, because it is a super complex film that you're tackling a lot of sort of issues in it, which is kind of you handled all of that very amazingly, because it does sort of like, it does seem very, again, naturalistic in its sort of surrealism, because again it does have that sort of like not, I guess mise en beam might be the right sort of term, because it is also it's a very noir kind of focused sort of script, also very Mulholland Drive, like that sort of like unpacking of memory is really prevalent in it as well. But one of the things that I really found that was super interesting as well is the sort of the structure of the film as well, because it seems in three parts. You have trains that kind of connect and bring us into each part, which I thought was really kind of a lovely sort of nod to one, to transit, and also to sort of how we move from point A to point B, even in our memory. Because we have the sort of the onset of the movie, we have the sort of the making of the movie, then we have sort of the holiday break where family is sort of, we kind of go into Nina's kind of family life and her backstory of that, and then we have we have the sort of the sort of finale where things are sort of made clear. And what was sort of the motivation to sort of tell the story that way, and sort of almost like a trilogy or triptych kind of fashion?
Yeah, I'm happy you are the first one who asked the question about the train to separate the film into three parts. Yeah, you are right. Totally right. Totally right. Yeah, because the first part of the train is the subway when the Nina was isolated in the city. Actually, when the train passed to the tunnel, it means the story is the end. It's the end. Like the train driving us into Nina past, into Nina's feeling, into Nina's schizophrenia. Yeah. So the first part is like the story is the end, but the film is just the beginning, just starting.
Right.
And so we follow Nina when she saw the insects during she speaks with Mark. So it appears something obviously the story is not in the linear way. Of course, the script is not written by linear way. Yeah, it's complicated. It's in the trend, present, past, dream, and the nightmare. And the second part of the train is it bring Nina going back to her hometown to reveal why she became a victim like this. And the last part is like to lead the audience, remind something to how to call it, to open the story, open the truth. So like
to tell you the real secret.
Yes,
Burning
yes.
Secret of Nina.
Yeah. In actually Nina Wu's Chinese original title is called Burning Secrets. So there's many secrets in the film, but the train is like the key to separate the story into 3 parts.
Well, I'm glad I picked up on that, and I feel honored
So
to
you are the first one. You are the first one.
I'm glad I was the first.
Yeah.
The first one to grab that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also wanted to kind of bring up the sort of the concept of secrets too, because it means secrets obviously are mentioned often in the film. We have the secret note in the dumpling, and I want to actually talk about dumplings in a second, but we'll talk about secrets first. But the secret in the dumpling, but also we also have the performance when Nina goes back home, her girlfriend's sort of performance of the Little Prince, and they have the line about secrets there too. So I kind of appreciate the sort of like a lot of like nods to the audience about this sort of like kind of giving in and true sort of noir fashion as well. You give us a lot of red herrings for that, which is kind of really kind of nice. Uh, Most obviously in the red herrings are the other women in red dresses. I kind of thought that was sort of like a nice sort of nod as well. And tell me a little bit about the sort of that representation of sort of the women in the red dresses, and that sort of also the color red, because that also kind of comes up a bit in the sort of the movie as well.
Yeah, when we are discussing about the colors, the plates, actually red for the story is very important. Of course, it represents dangerous lusts and nightmare and her past. And in the hotel room, what is happening? Yeah. And of course, we have another colors like when Nina's going back home, Aries colors appears in at her hometown. Mostly it's more nature colors like green, yellow, and in the film, the romance of the spy. In the film, the colors mostly is more looks like plastic color. It's not nature. It's green, but not nature green. It looks like strange green. Yeah. So we separated like it's a hint. Of course, it's also a metaphor driven and viewers into something, because the story we make it blurring. Yeah, we blur the reality and not non-reality. So we needed to use something to separate the film, to lead the audience. So for me, the colors also a function to separate what is the truth, what is the truth, what is the reality, what is her past, what is her dream, what is her illusions. Yeah.
Well, I first wrote the hotel scene. You know, the hotel for me is like very mysterious, and then you reminded me of sometimes, you know, when we attend film festival, you know, to a very like strange country or city or someplace. The imagination I had was a hotel in Busan in South Korea, you know, by the sea, and then nobody's there, a huge hotel, and I was walking in one alone in the hallway, and there's a like, you know, automatic like, you know, elevator up and down. And I imagine sometimes, you know, I go there for audition, and sometimes I would like to dress, you know, pretty, you know, and to meet some producers, something like that. And then my imagination is like, you know, and then Nina goes in the hallway with 9 heels, and somehow it's weird that she made another 9-year-old girl exactly look like her. That's the little her when she was little, that she has this very naive dream of, oh mom, I want to be an actress, I want to be a performer, a great a very great performer like Nicole Kidman or like those great American actresses in the history. I want to be like that. But the but some for some girls those became nightmares,
Mm.
and they never make it real because of some guys or people have these evil like intentions to destroy people's like beautiful dreams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, the red color also like fire, burning Nina's heart, making, pushing her, yeah, stressful, yeah, becomes schizophrenia. So the red color in the film is very important. Is the leading. I used to discuss the color with my cinematographer. I call the color is leading color. The red is leading color. Now let's use leading color. Leads the stories.
Yeah, because I mean, it really does kind of like in moments that does sort of like with the hotel room and stuff like that. But also notable in my mind is the in the spa when she's chasing and I want to say it's like, almost like her like double or like
Yeah.
there's because there's a lot of sort of like doubling and sort of like fracturing, I guess would be the right sort of like kind of thing of the sort of the spa attendant chasing through that neon kind of like that kind of amazing and weird hallway that looks almost German expressionist and because of the angles and I mean there's a lot of like you packed in a lot of really amazing sort of kind of visual clues in this film, and I really appreciate it. Like I was also when I was watching it last night or actually yesterday for the first time in a bit, thinking about Bergman and Persona and like sort of, like that kind of also the Three Faces of Eve too with Joanne.
Yes, of course.
That sort of like that sort of splitting and sort of the multiples of identity and sort of personality to sort of deal with sort of trauma. Um, so I appreciate that. I guess my next question too is because this is also a LGBTQ film, what was the sort of the decision and sort of the motivation to sort of make Nina's character lesbian and kind of equate it to sort of the girlfriend at home, and also kind of talk about sort of that sort of expectation and sort of Taiwanese culture of sort of like that love is still forbidden and unacceptable and stuff like that. If you want to kind of talk a little bit about that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, for the first few drafts, the character Nina is straight, and while I was writing, I usually would, watch some videos, because I didn't want to write, and so I suddenly wrote. I saw a YouTube video about Ellen Pages. I think we should call her like Elliot Page now.
Elliot Page,
yeah, her coming out of a classic video. But I saw it, in 2017, and it was very interesting to me, and it reminded me of lots of my friends. And she gave us a lot of details on how difficult and how awkward lesbians or gay people are in this industry if they want to pursue their like artistic lives. And also I read an article about Ellen DeGeneres back in the 80s or 70s when she tried to achieve her dreams as a performer. And also one of my favorite films is Boys Don't Cry. I was really waiting for that kind of roles for ages, and there is none. It's really rare. It's really rare. I mean, yeah, it's true, right? Back in the time, it's really rare to receive this kind of like characters. And so I was thinking, why not making one by ourselves? And also, like I was reading a novel, a Taiwanese novel. She is lesbian, and her novels was about how deep she loves her lovers, and it's poetic and it's really very lovely novels. And the news says that she committed suicide because after that, because her girlfriend wanted to leave her, perhaps because the reason, just like Nina and Kiki, one wants to fit in the society, one wants to, want her lover to come back to have this like forbidden love. So all those stories kind of like occupied my mind that period of time. So I just one day I just decided to change Nina's sexuality because I think just like what you said, it's because it's rare, but people are really existing in the world, and I want to see more diverse, whether in script or characters or film industry, and it will be more interesting. It will be more like original and something new, something we haven't seen before, and that's cinema to us, I think.
Yeah, I think that's really great that you made that switch and you kind of made all those connections, because it is really important for representation. Because I'm sure
Yeah,
the people who are out there who see this film are going to be like, well, that's amazing that there is a character out there, and these struggles are real and also universal too.
yeah,
That's the thing that really kind of struck me about the sort of portrayal of Nina's sexuality, is that it kind of makes it a universal story as opposed to like this or that or the same old story. Because
yeah,
sometimes as a queer person, I have a hard time sort of relating to the same old. That's kind of totally, you can kind of find moments of it, but
yeah,
again,
yeah, 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 yeah.
I think you
Yeah,
handled
totally
her
agree
sort
with
of
you.
sexuality in a really great way. So I appreciate that. um I guess my maybe last next to last question is, because I definitely want to go back to dumplings, because they're it made me really hungry because I absolutely love dumplings. And and um so chicken or pork. So tell me a little bit about, like, because there are a lot of dumplings in this, what was that sort of thought process and representation, besides that they are delicious, of putting so many dumplings in the script?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think for me it's reasonable for Nina to eating the dumpling every day by day is her daily meal, because Nina, those people coming from rural place, isolated in the city, pursuing her dream, saving money for adding class, maybe for something more meaningful. She doesn't spending she doesn't spend money for materials life. So dumplings for her is more easier, yeah, to survival. Because dumpling you can make it 3 hours and put it in the refrigerator. Maybe 1,000 dumplings you can eat every day. Yes,
For
it's very
audiences,
convenient.
no, for
It's
queer
very
audiences,
convenient.
for queer audiences, if you wanna purchase the dumplings, then you can email us here and
Your secret dumpling
and
recipe? Each
Yeah,
color
yeah.
note.
Yeah, and of course when Nina's, because Nina's got traumatized, she got PTSD. She's every elements remind her tripping in her nightmare,
Mm,
because that day she went into the hotel room, the executive producer eating the dumpling.
hmm
Yeah, yeah, that's the key food.
yeah.
And Nina's eating dumpling every day. When she's at the shooting location, the staff, their meal is the dumpling.
Yeah, they're giving her
Mhm.
dumplings. She's eating dumplings on set. I mean, I love I sort of really love that scene too, where they're shooting the film and she's eating the dumplings, and there's the constant take about
Yeah. Yeah,
notes
yeah,
and stuff like that.
yeah.
It's a really
Yeah.
kind of, really like wonderful kind of sort of scene. And I guess maybe to kind of like pick up on that, one of the I guess my next to last question, because I'm like I want to talk to you guys forever about this,
we
is
can order dumplings and
we're gonna order some dumplings. Make mine vegetarian though, please.
Oh, okay.
Is because there is the film, it also takes place about behind the scenes and sort of exposing sort of the behind the scenes of a film and making a film. There's a lot of sort of precedent in that in Hollywood films. Is there the same sort of precedent in Taiwanese cinema of sort of that looking behind the camera and at the set and stuff like that, to sort of unpack the sort of what goes on behind the scenes?
In Taiwan, actually, we we don't see, many film. It's very rare to make film looks like very critical, because in Chinese tradition, we have some incident in our industry. If we have something like Me Too movement, it's not so obvious to letting people discuss it. Of course, it's not. We are free to discuss everything, but it's I think you know what I mean. Our cultures doesn't push us to speak loud what we are thinking about. So it's not like someone not allowed you to speak it. Yeah, the film industry in Taiwan is okay. We don't have, of course we may have. Actually, I read a true story on Facebook very similar to Nina. What is happening? Of course, I don't know the story is true or not, because in Facebook there's fan pages called like fucking film industry, like yeah the title of the fan page called, yeah, in Taiwanese, in Taiwanese how to dialect, in Taiwanese dialect is like the fan page called fucking. I read the story as similar as Nina. A guest came from rural place, southern Taiwan, living in Taipei. She's lesbian. She wants to be an actress. She met a guy, executive producer, an old man, yeah, very old, and the guy. Of course, no one's want to prove the story is true or not. But there's long story. There's 10,000 words written in Mandarin. I read it in 2017.
Well, I don't. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I remember one thing I have to say. I remember strongly first time because the film got the film fund from Taiwanese Ministry of Culture. I remember when I went to pitch the story in front of the committee, one producer, she asked me, Midi, you need to be careful because in Taiwan, we don't have such kind of story because you know, though this person, she fear I make it into documentary. Why? Because my previous film, every films of my previous style looks like documentary. You know, making people believe the story is the true story. Yeah. So she she was asking me, Midi, is any story like Nina Wu happening in Taiwan film industry? I answer, maybe yes, maybe no, I don't know. But I read the story on the Facebook. Maybe it's a fake story. Yeah. But I think maybe yes. Yeah. But maybe no one wants to express it because the film industry is very small. Yeah.
That sort of makes sense.
And one important reason, because I think our culture doesn't educated us to speak our real feeling loudly. Like our culture, yeah, I remember in my elementary school, when my teacher asking, is anyone knows what's the answer? No one dares to raise the hands. But in America, everyone's raised the hand, me. Yeah, I think
That's not true.
yeah,
That's
I
not
think
true.
that's the culture.
I think
Oh,
kids,
you
I
don't
think they're shy universally.
you don't dare to raise your hands.
No, often I didn't raise my hand if I didn't know the answer, but then they would call on you.
Yeah,
I mean, KG, same question for
yeah.
you.
Even though yeah. Kashi,
Cause she,
What?
same question.
What?
Same question for
Yeah,
you.
same question.
Yeah.
Hmm?
You want to talk a little bit about like the
Oh,
sort of experience?
Well, of course. Oh, yeah, of course. A lot of plots came from my own experiences in while I was, pursuing my dreams in Taiwan. But I don't say, or I don't think this is a film. I don't say, or I don't think I write this to criticize someone or criticize the film industry. Of course, it reflects some parts of the reality. But I also, just like what I said, I was inspired by all the stories from the world,
Mm,
right? Uh, Rose McGowan, a lot of like actresses, their stories, and then I listen, I read, and I wanna I want to make people to have more empathy for them while they are telling their stories, and without being criticized, like, oh, you just want to be famous, or it's your problem, or why do you say now, why didn't you say 15 years ago? So I was just like writing with my like very pure intentions. And yeah, but I don't but maybe there are like these kind of things happening, I believe, in the whole world, not just in Taiwan. But I think I'm just a writer and actress. I just want to open these and then let people to discuss,
mm.
and to be aware of what's happening now, and maybe we can make some changes.
I agree. I think that changes need to happen, and I'm hoping that with more people seeing your film and more discussion and more conversation about it, that those changes will happen because they're definitely needed. And again, applaud you both for making such a really brave film, and one that's like it bears repeated watching. Like I have to say, I got a lot more out of it the second time I watched it, and I can't wait to watch it again for the third or fourth time. To be honest, so I guess that maybe my last
And
question.
eating dumplings.
And eating dumplings, yes, with no note. um, so I guess my last question for you both is, I know the pandemic has been kind of hard for everybody. Have you found sort of creativity in this sort of time of sort of isolation and sort of looking in? And what's also next for both of you?
Mhm.
Actually, the pandemic period for me doesn't have any creative work. Yeah, because the whole world is in the boiling water. Everyone is stressful. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same. Of course, we are writing a script together. Yeah, I hope it could be made next year early.
Trust.
Trust.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm currently writing something. I hope I can finish. And of course, when this pandemic, happened, I think everybody pretty much the same because we are like watching the news every day, right? We were like so wanting to know what happened in the world and in our country or in in other countries and something like that. And so everybody are anxious and nervous about a lot of things. So, but I feel like mm, so I didn't have much inspiration in the beginning. Yeah, but I yeah but after that I started to write something else. So hmm, hope I can share with you in the future.
I would love to see it. For sure. Well, thank you again for spending some time with me and spending some time with our Wicked Queer audience. Folks, if you have not seen Nina Wu, what are you waiting for? It is playing April 8th to the 18th on our Zerb TV channel. If you want tickets or more information about the festival, go to www.wickedqueer.org. Keiichi and Mitty, so nice to have you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very
My
much for
pleasure.
having
My
us.
pleasure.